Hello, my friends. I hope you are having a great October, and I hope you are playing lots of video games because there is a lot of stuff coming out right now. It is definitely Broketober. But for me, over the past month or so, I caught up on a bunch of things that were sitting in my backlog. Everything from Final Fantasy to Dead Island that I want to talk about today, as well as something new. And that would be Zoochosis. Now, Zoochosis, I have been looking forward to for a long time. This looks super interesting. Every trailer that I saw it, and I was like, man, that looks super unique. And honestly, scary. They could be very promising. But, and that doesn't mean it's bad, it is not what I thought it was going to be. A straightforward linear horror game, this is not. This is more of a management simulator for a zoo, but with a very, very dark horror twist. And that dark horror twist isn't really used to its full potential here, even though I've only been in this game for like an hour or two. I can already tell that there are some glaring issues when these creatures are morphed. They don't actually kill you. They don't actually hurt you. They just kind of knock you over and then on with their day. And it's more about knowing how to deal with these things and affecting the story by treating the animals, different ways and having different things happen. In that way, this is a very reactive story. I've already had a few differences upon restarting a couple of times just because I was learning how to play it. But it is interesting. It remains to be seen if it is a worthwhile purchase at the moment or if this is something you're going to want to wait for. But the developers have been on it with updates. There have been an update almost every day since this game has dropped. So I expect that even if it's not what we expected now, it should be what we want it to be sometime soon. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about is Dead Island 2. Now, I know a lot of people aren't that crazy about Dead Island 2, and maybe not even that negative about it either. It just kind of exists. It's just one of those properties that everyone has kind of played, and just some of us really hold some fond memories of. I am one of those. I love the first two, and I've replayed them quite a few times with friends because they're just a good time to play with your buddies. And this one, I am actually surprised at how much I enjoyed it after hearing everyone's lukewarm reception to it. I think it is fantastic. Dead Island 2 not only looks great, it has fantastic gore. My god. Some of that I may be able to show on YouTube, but some of it definitely not. But all in all, it is a worthwhile package to me, especially now that you can pick it up with all its DLC. When I started playing it, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, and I played it through and beat all of the DLC all in one go, which is not something I usually do. Usually I beat the core game and then kind of move on and then come back to the DLC a little later. But not with this one. I had so much fun, whether it be with just the different combinations of weapons to find, the writing in this game actually being not like the most riveting writing, but it has a very tongue-in-cheek nature along with a very dark and kind of sci-fi-esque feel to it. Especially since they want to really go places with the lore of this zombie virus, and oh boy does it go places. All in all, I am super happy that I finally got to play it through. I played it on the new PC, and ooh, that game looks so good. And it feels so good to just clobber things to death. Final Fantasy Rebirth. Now, I started this game when it came out. It just took me a while to actually beat it. However, I loved it the whole way through. There are some parts of it, though, that do drag on a little too long or are held back by the number of mini games there are. And that's not to say that these mini games are bad. It just means that they really break the pace of the story in very odd ways. Like, you will be at a plot point that is super captivating and you want to just move on, but then you got a couple of mini games that you have to really get through and really learn. Some of these are very well done and very intricate to get there. And all in all, I had fun playing them, but I do wish there was a little less required minigame content, and so you could just do that as a side thing. However, everything else about it, from characterization, what they did with the story in this one, which with the changes on this, I won't talk in case some people haven't played it, because some people are waiting for a PC release. The story changes are, how should we say, interesting. I am not sure if they are good or bad yet, to be honest. The end kind of left me a little bewildered, and not in a bad way. I definitely enjoyed the ending. It was very good, especially the finale fight and all of that goodness. But I am very curious to see where Final Fantasy goes in the next chapter with how this ended up.
With my iron stomach?
Night.
I have to share my love of Astro. Oh my goodness, this game is wonderful. This game is just serotonin, the game, okay? Everything in it, even if this wasn't a platformer specifically for PlayStation, was just phenomenal. The platforming feels great. Astro even feels better to control now than he did in the original Astro's Playroom, which I also put a lot of time in and even have the platinum in because I enjoyed playing it that much. This game continued that trend, and it had me wanting to collect everything. And there are so many callbacks to so many different series in this, not even just from PlayStation, but things that are now multi-platform, but maybe were known for being on PlayStation back in PlayStation's heyday on PS2 or 3 days. I would recommend playing that to anybody.